Thank you for giving me this opportunity to raise the question. I would actually like to know from the teacher's point of view, how you would assess a child who shows interest in many areas, who excels many areas throughout the years of education, maybe from the first year of high school. She or he excels in many areas and they show interest in a lot of areas and they're not fixated on one thing. So how do you assess such a child?
Now, answering your question, the student, Ms. Sreekumar, there is a course called as BA in Liberal Arts or Bachelor's Degree in Liberal Arts, where you can pick up courses from diverse fields, and at the end of 4 years, you will be awarded a degree in liberal arts. So you could take something in music, you could take something in physics, chemistry, and that is the way the system or NEP 2020 proposes to give you the choice to decide what you want to study at the higher education level. And I evaluate such a person as a very creative person who is the need of the hour, as pointed out by the other expert panels. And I would suggest a career in entrepreneurship for such a student. But being creative, you will always keep changing your mind. That's fine. If you have a parent who can accommodate you for a longer period of time to decide what you want to do in life, you should go for it. Decide, go in for entrepreneurship, take up a bachelor's degree in liberal arts, and decide what you want to do in life.
Sreekumar. Hey, one thing we missed, Mr. Raghavan, I'm glad Diyah brought out is, in this mix, we never talked about the contributions or service activities rendered by students, particularly if you have to go to an Ivy League, Yale or Stanford. How does your CV come up? This is a tip for Divyanand and Diyah. How you got to make sure in that mix, right? How do you stand above tall and above others is to do something which it's not banal, which is not mundane. Engage in some science projects, present it in somewhere else in a national forum. You don't have to win a prize. Present it. That shows that you are above tall and above others. You are showing initiative, right? And the second thing is, if possible, try to engage. It's not, you shouldn't do it just because I know it's just a tick mark. People will find out. In American system, if you have to go to a medical school, one of the things people look at it, how good you are empathetic. Have you done something different? So just not simply in the year before you are applying to a medical school, go to some hospice or go to some American Red Cross and do. No. Try to do this. This is what Shroff and others have been talking, planning. So this comes if you get exposed to people who can come and share the experience. This is what I'm crying out of my lung, that kind of an interaction. So engage in service activities. It need not be just a hospital system, even animal care. So, and then go to some village, do something that needs parental support. So this is what the engaged society is. And in America, we call it as outreach and engagement. So this is not just simply doing service. I go to my church, I go to my temple, I just become a torch bearer. That is a service. But how are you engaging beyond this outreach and engagement? So please think about it. I think that is what these NEPs give, this flexibility. So when you think about this, then you grow up, which I call, and your dad says that I'm beating this drum again and again. That is what is called as an engaged global scholar. That's what you need. Because can you believe a comedian actor now is looked up by the entire world in President Zelensky? Right? So this is the need of the hour, is to stand up to the moments and living in the moments. So that needs to be nurtured. And I agree with Racquel, Shroff, that you can't ask a 8th grader or a 9th grader to decide this. It's an engagement of the stakeholders, parents, teachers, system, and then the students. So this is what the system in India should do. As I said, I'm not preaching, but I wish you the best. And God bless.
Yeah, my advice to you, Diyah, is you seem to have a diverse portfolio and there are a number of things you could do. So from an early age, I agree with Ram, you need a lot of exposure to decide whether the different things that you're interested in is something that you enjoy doing and you're also good at, because you've got to stand out. you know. The Japanese have a nice word for it. It's called ikigai. It means doing something that you love, that you are also good at, for which you can find work and also contribute to society. And that's the secret to a fulfilling career. So you could do voluntary work, you could do job shadows, you could do internships and structured workplace learning. And during the COVID, I've even seen a lot of virtual internships, virtual exposures that people couldn't access by going into a real company. Through online tools and really fascinating, immersive, augmented reality environments, you could actually see if that's something that you really enjoy doing, or is it something that you're just fascinated by. And the other important thing is, if somebody spoke about liberal arts, I always look at the outcomes. So for example, let's say you're good at linguistics and you also like coding and machine learning and things like that. I've seen during even the COVID times, a lot of the interpreters and translators who were, employed by Netflix, they had to work with machine learning, because things like, the Squid Game, which is like the big Korean show, the machine learning would pick up like automatic translation, but sometimes it didn't make sense because of the nuances of the language. So they needed interpreters who knew Korean, but also working with machine learning to get the best results, and they had to do it fast. So a lot of the jobs these days, especially now in the post-COVID world, have these very diverse, distinct skill sets. So you can be an artist and you're also doing sort of doing cryptocurrency and Bitcoin, and now there's a lot of virtual galleries and people are selling off NFTs, which nobody knew existed before. So, and you also, try and go into LinkedIn. I'm sure if your dad's on LinkedIn, have a look at his connections and the kind of, job descriptions or careers they have. And I'm so fascinated by just, doing random searches and seeing what people have created for themselves. There are such unique jobs that you see online that didn't exist before. There are combinations that nobody thought were possible, not just for studying, but you can actually make a living out of it. And you can stand out and distinguish yourself. So to get the answers to all this, you need that consistent exposure, that engagement, and doing little activities along the way to decide, this is something I like, this is something I don't like, this I'm good at. Sometimes we like something, but we're not so good at it. But you need to find something that works both ways, and always see how you can find your fit in the world of work. Very important. You can do a combination of things, but you need to have a purpose and you need to know what to do with it all. So it won't happen overnight, but be patient, and if you do these things in a consistent manner, I'm sure you'll find something that you'll be very happy and successful as well.
Again, like this, a student coming along with me will ask me, ma'am, can I hold these notebooks, that register? The second thing is, can I come to your house? I will work with your husband to work on the car fixing. That was the ambassador. So I will try on that. So I was to wonder, he's 0 in the class. Okay. So no teacher likes, but then they are behind me, coming out with me and doing. So I was to wonder. So the one which really interests you, because your parents are supporting you, you can teach, in the person who comes to your house, maid servant, how do you work? What do you do? So that engagement with the community, wherever you have the passion, keep doing it. So that is what is going to help you in a longer run. To ask me frankly, I will get into so many things, and whichever is interesting, whatever is giving me interest and passion and some satisfaction. Ultimately, your happiness, your satisfaction. You do 10 things, 12 things, 15 things, but then whichever gives you happiness, not only money will come, okay, but you need to have that sort of a passion for that particular thing, and happiness which gives you. Thank you.